Hey Internet, so today I wanted to kind of start with a video about the basics, right? This new series I'm going to call Let's Get Started. So I think for a lot of people when it comes to learning languages, we're often like,
I don't even know where to get started.
because that was me, right? If you haven't checked out my first video yet, check that out as I talk a little bit about my backstory and why I learned languages. But today I want to focus on the very first foreign language that I learned. And maybe you stumbled upon this because you're looking to learn Spanish. Well, you're in the right place. So let me kind of walk you through the basics and help you build a foundation in language learning. And maybe you're like,
There's just no way I can learn a language.
those are lies that you're believing. Everyone is capable of learning another language, and I want to prove that to you with this channel and with this long voyage that I'm on. So why don't we start at the beginning of my long voyage with Spanish, and let's go over some of the basics. So Spanish, let's talk about that. Spanish is spoken by over 480 million native speakers, making it the second most widely spoken native language. It's languages of Central and South America, not every country, of course, the tropics, of course, Spain, and then many other countries and islands throughout the world. Yeah, it's that good. So let's begin with a little visualization exercise. I want you to imagine yourself a year from now, and you're fluent in Spanish. What are you doing? Who are you with? What's going on? What is your experience now with the fluency of this language? I want you to take a moment, even pause the video, and just think about that and really let that sink in, because whatever dream sequence you come up with, that's going to be your motivation when language learning gets boring. And yes, disclaimer, language learning can be boring. Honestly, there are parts that will be boring, so just be ready for it. What remotivates you? What refuels the tank? These visualization exercises, remembering what is to come as you continue to invest. So I want to kind of start our first lesson off with just some of the basics, creating a foundation. When you first meet someone, usually it's like, hello, how are you? I'm fine, thanks, and you, right? That's just the pleasantries, the basics, get those out of the way. But then normally, if you're like me, and you look like me, and you're learning Spanish, people are just really want to know why. So usually they ask, like, why are you learning Spanish? Where are you from? Those types of things, right? And then they ask kind of like, what do you like to do? Who are you? Like, what are you about? So let's kind of build off of that natural, normal, organic conversation and kind of build a script out of it. So, starting off with, hello, how are you? Easy. Most of you already know this. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Disclaimer, I'm a white boy from the suburbs of Ohio. I am not a native speaker of Spanish. Please forgive my accent. So we've greeted them and we respond with, I'm fine, thanks. And you? Estoy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? Then, of course, you say, I'm fine, thanks. Estoy bien, gracias. And of course, we have to know what to call you, right? ¿Cómo te llamas? But literally translated, how do you call yourself? And so you reply with, me llamo, your name. So in my case, me llamo Jesse. Then they're going to want to know why you learn Spanish. ¿Por qué tú estás aprendiendo el español? I'm learning Spanish because estoy aprendiendo el español porque, let's just keep it simple and say, I like the culture. Porque me gusta la cultura. So then they'll be like, great. You know, they'll be like, that's awesome. Love that. And then usually the conversation kind of expands to like, well, what do you like to do? Genial. Entonces, ¿qué te gusta hacer? So of course, yeah, respond with, what do I like to do? For me, we'll just say music. Me gusta tocar la guitarra. I like to play the guitar. So I know we went through that pretty quick, but I'll make sure that everything is translated, subtitled, all that fun stuff, and write those down. Practice them and get comfortable using them. And of course, filling in your name, your reasons for learning the language, and your hobbies. And kind of build yourself a reference sheet. You'll kind of work with that, work around that. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to practice those phrases. Create basically a script, right? Like actors do it, right? When they first are kind of running through a scene, they don't have it all memorized right at the gate. So don't worry about memorizing it right away. Just practice reading from the script. And if you have some Spanish-speaking friends, practice with them. If not, the internet is a great place to meet friends and do what's called a language exchange. You help them learn your language. They help you learn theirs. So, dear viewer, that is my challenge. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know what questions you have about learning Spanish. And I'm happy to leave comments below. So as always, like and follow for language. Ciao!